Guys, it's been a while since we've had a good Cody Bellinger rumor out there.
Like home. It's like a warm hug.
You feel right at home. So, the Cubs are reportedly looking to trade Cody Bellinger, and that pretty not great contract. Now, there was a point at the trade deadline last year where maybe a Belli return would have made a little bit of sense. Last offseason, less so, a return making some sense. People still want, everybody just can't get over the past. People just want to have all the guys that were here in 17 and 18 and 20. Why not sign JT and have him play nothing? JT should have been the first base coach. But Cody Bellinger, I believe the rumors. I believe that the Cubs will be trying to trade him because they have a bunch of dudes, a bunch of talent, expensive aging talent. They're paying a lot of money, anyway. And they have an outfield. Yeah, they're potentially moving him to first base. Where they also have Michael Busch on the cheap. Diane Schroeder saying no thanks to Cody. Thank you, Diane. But if there is a moment in time where a reunion makes sense, outfield wise, right field wise, where he won a Gold Glove with the Dodgers in 2019, this is one of those times. What do you think about a Cody Bellinger reunion?
It comes down to price. If the Cubs are willing to eat a good chunk of that contract, like a third of it, yeah, I'm all for it. I don't think he'd be expensive prospect wise. Could be a situation where, you give up like Chris Taylor and a prospect for Cody, and Chris Taylor's just, they take on his contract, we take on Cody's. That's how you offset the money a little bit. Sure. This is, like you said, the time where it makes the most sense. Cody would play right field, not center. His defense has taken a step back, so his arm is still great, so he can still play a competent right field. The concerns are his bat regressed significantly last year. I think he OPS somewhere in the mid to slightly high 700s. The contact quality and the contact rate was pretty bad. If you look at his StatCast page, there's a lot of blue. The one really interesting part about it, though, is he's cut down a lot on his strikeouts. So his strikeout rate's like 17%, where I think with the Dodgers, it was like 31. So he's cut them like nearly in half. That's interesting because if you could find a happy medium where, yeah, his strikeout rate ticks back up, but he's getting better contact, he's all of a sudden quite intriguing. Now, again, it comes down to price. Mm-hmm. What would be really cool, what I've been mulling this over in my head, is if the Cubs eat a good portion of his contract, we could get like a Soto, Edman, Belli outfield, and you could live with that. That is an outfield and a half. That's some premier bats. And also, but if they bring Bellinger back into the fold, he's not hitting fourth. He's hitting like seventh.
That's a really good point.
He's going to be at the bottom of that lineup because he's not hitting above max. He's certainly not hitting above. Well, he might hit above Edman because he'll bat ninth. The only he hit seventh, above Gavin Lux, maybe, if he's still around. He's above Pajes, maybe. He's gonna be at the bottom of that lineup. They're not gonna ask too much of him, so it's intriguing, but it would have to be at a price that you can kind of live with.
Yeah, that's a good word. That's a good word I'm gonna jump off of right there. Intriguing. Intriguing is the word I would use. At this moment in time, a reunion makes sense. I don't think there'll be in on Juan Soto. I do think a Teoscar reunion is pretty likely. On Teoscar Hernandez for a second, John Morosi, who we already talked a bunch about Morosi on Monday. So again, grain of salt meter right there. But Morosi, in Morosi's mind, the top two candidates to sign Teoscar Hernandez are the Dodgers and the Red Sox right now, and that kind of tracks. But if we're talking about Cody Bellinger right now, and just listing that outfield that we had said earlier, and I agree more with what Kevin said there, that most likely Edman will be in the mix in the outfield because I think they find a shortstop option somewhere along the way. But if not, Tommy Edman's going to be that guy. But Edman being in the mix, Andy Pajes was good when he was good last year. Maybe there is a world where it's kind of a offset of bad contracts. Maybe we bring Chris Taylor into this trade equation. What do you think about that? You get rid of CT3, you bring in Belli. How many more years? Belli has 2 more years on the deal, right? Is that where he signed, or is this?
No, he has this year and then one. He has a player option.
Player option.
After,
okay.
Yeah.
So, again, if you're looking for somebody in right field, and then they do bring back Teoscar Hernandez, it's you have Teo in left, you have Belli in right. I think the thing I don't like about it is I just hate the reunion for the sake of a reunion. His final couple years were bad. I think
terrible. Not just bad, terrible.
Very terrible. It ended a little sour. It ended 2 years ago with the non-tender. 3 years ago with the non-tender. If we're talking, well, yeah, it's fair.
He got benched in the playoffs.
It's fair. Yeah, they were fair to do it because they were kind of done with him. He didn't want to implement a lot of their changes. He kept reverting back to his old style. He didn't fit the mold anymore. Maybe now, a couple years later, he fits the mold a little bit more. I would still rather see the Dodgers in on other outfielders, other options. Maybe some sort of bigger trade with the other Chicago team. Go get Garrett Crochet and Luis Robert. Bring him aboard and have a true center fielder. So there are some options, but we'll say this. Bob Student says reunion at a discount price, a reasonable price, both in terms of money and players going back. I can agree with that. Quickly, I'm going to tell you about Bet Online. It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to live in-game betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch games and play along with games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds from everything to football, NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC, MMA, Bet Online has it all. Head to Bet Online today. Get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here. But Cody returning for the sake of Cody returning, I'm out. I don't see it happening.
I don't think this is for the sake of a reunion, though. I don't think the Dodgers are about to do that. I think they know. Hey, this is they clearly know it's their window because they just won the World Series. Hey guys, spoiler alert. So they would
Breaking
only
news.
do it if they truly believe that Bellinger improves the roster.
Yeah.
And with a need in right field, he could theoretically improve the roster. A year ago, it didn't make a ton of sense. 2 years ago, it definitely didn't. That's why they non-tendered him. But right now, with the hole there, with the need, yeah, it makes more sense than it has in the past. So, yeah, I don't think this is reunion for the sake of reunion, albeit there are much better options. I would much prefer to see Teoscar back. I, for one, am totally okay with an outfield that includes, Teoscar. I still think Edman's going to play mostly in center field. Him, maybe Kike, CT will split time there. But I'm fine with Teoscar, those 3 guys, and then a platoon of Rushing and Pages. I think that is a perfectly – I would be totally okay if that is the opening day roster and that's the opening day plan. There are better options than Bellinger, but he's not the worst option right now.
Yeah, right now. That's the thing right now, looking at what they have. But, Teoscar or Soto completely changed that equation. Still got some offseason to go, guys. And nobody's going to pick up Cody Bellinger that hastily from the Cubs. Nando 390 saying Bellinger over CT3 all day. I agree with that, and if you could make some sort of switch in that regard, I would feel a lot better about the state of the roster. Because even like you said, he's not batting 3rd or 4th anymore. We're talking about a dude who's 6, 7, 8 in a lineup, has some power upside. He has performed here in LA, but I don't want to sit here trying to talk myself into a Cody Bellinger reunion.
I don't. We're not in the business of doing that. We can't be in the business of talking ourselves really into anybody. That's fair. We're winning. This is winning time.
Yeah. Plus, we're not the front office, so we can't make these moves, guys.
Don't tell them that.